To make one unit, we're going to fold a square sheet of paper in half like this. Next, we're going to unfold and then fold the bottom side to the center crease we just made. And just repeat the same thing on the other side. Now what we want to do is we want to fold the entire unit in half like this. Open it up and then fold the bottom right hand corner to the top center point over here, like so. Now we're going to rotate the unit like this and repeat on the other side. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to unfold the two folds that we just made so that the unit looks like this. We're going to fold against this tiny center crease over here, and then we're going to flatten the unit along this diagonal crease over here. So to demonstrate, like this. And then flatten. So from the side, it should look like this, and from the front, it should look like this. Then we're just going to take this flap over here and fold it to the left side, like this. Next, we're going to rotate the unit and repeat the same thing on the other side. So again, we're going to fold along this center crease, and while we're doing that, we're going to flatten along this diagonal crease over here. And from the side, it should look like this. Then we're going to take this flap over here and fold it to the left side to create something that looks like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn the unit so that this side is facing us, and we're going to go underneath and pull out this rectangular flap over here, well, triangular flap over here. I'm going to pull it out and then bring it over and then flatten so that it looks like this. Now we're going to rotate the unit and repeat the same thing on the other side. So again, we're to go underneath, pull out this triangular flap over here, and bring it to the top, and then flatten. Then we're going to take this flap over here and fold it over, and then repeat the same thing on the other side. Once we've done that, we're going to flip the unit over, and this is how the back should look like. We're going to take this tip over here and fold it to the center point, like so. Crease it in, and repeat on the other side. So now the back should look like this. Now we're going to turn the unit around, and with this opening right here, we're going to find the tips, so the starting point and the end point, and then we're just going to gently push And when we do that, we can see these two sides popping up. So from the side it should look like this. Then we're just going to gently squeeze and flatten. And now we're going to have a rectangular shape like this. So from the top it should look like this. And from the side it should look like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fold along this diagonal crease over here, like so. And then just repeat on the other side. Once we've done that, we want to unfold. And from the top you'll notice one flap over here and one flap over here. What we want to do is we want to pull these two tabs in opposite directions so that we have a little opening over here. It kind of looks like a clam. And what we're going to do is we're going to reverse the folds that we made earlier so that it goes in instead of sticking out. And we're going to repeat that on both sides. And so now you have one completed unit, and you have to make 30 of these to complete the Starsea Kusudama. Once you've completed 30 units, you're ready to assemble the Starsea Kusudama. And we're going to start off with 5 units to create a 5-pointed star. So how we put the units together is by taking the flap of one unit and slipping it into the slot of another unit, just like this. And then we're going to take a third unit and slip it into the slot of the second unit, like that. Then we're going to take a fourth unit and slip it into the slot of the third unit over here, like this. And let me actually show you guys how it looks like from the back as well. So the back should look like this. If you notice, the points of the star are starting to form. So this would be the first point, second point, third point, fourth point, and the fifth point over here. Once you see a formation like this, you know that you have to add one additional unit to create the 5-pointed star, or rather to close this gap over here. So for this last one, we're going to insert this 5th unit into the slot of the 4th unit, like this, and then take the 1st unit flap, which is here, and insert it into the slot of this 5th unit over here. And this last one may be a little tricky, so you have to be a little patient with it. Okay, once that's in place, you can see the star more clearly now at the center, right here. And from the back, you should see a pentagon shape. So the rule of thumb is every time you see a star, a 5-pointed star, each point is surrounded by 3 points. So let me demonstrate how that looks. So we're just going to start with this star point over here, and we're going to add 1 unit to this point. So again, take the flap of 1 and insert it into the slot of another unit, like this. And then I'll show you where the 3 points are. The 3 points are here, 1, 2, and 3. And notice how these 3 points surround this 1 point to the star over here. And now we're just going to close that up. So insert this slot into this tab into the slot of this unit over here that we added earlier. So now you should have something that looks like this. So here's the original star, and this is the 3 points that we created around this point of the star. And then we're just going to repeat that by adding 1 unit on this side, 1 unit on this side, 1 here, and 1 here. So I'm adding 1 unit and then closing it up around this point of the star. And now I'm going to move on to this point of the star, add 1 unit like this, and then close it up. Like that. And now I'm going to move on to this point of the star. I'm going to add 1 unit like this, and then close it off. Like this. And finally, I am going to work on this point of the star and add 1 unit over there. And close it up. So now let's look at this formation again. We're going to see the star at the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5-pointed star. And each point of the star is surrounded by 3 points. So 1, 2, and 3. And then 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3. So if we follow this rule, we will know that on this side, for example, there are already 1, 2, 3, 4 points that you see available. So you would add 2 more units to close up this gap over here and form a star, and that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to add 1 unit, and then I'm going to add a 2nd unit. And now you can see that another star has started to form. I'm going to close that up with this flap. And that is another completed star. So now I'm going to find another open slot where I can insert 2 units to form another star. And that would be this side over here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have this opening right here that we can add 2 units to. So I'm going to add 1 unit, and then I'm going to add a second unit. And once you've done that, you can see this 5-pointed star over here. And we're going to close that star up by inserting the tab of 1 unit into the slot of that last one, like this. And now you've noticed that there's also, some flaps dangling on the side. So what you want to do is you want to close those up as well. And from the back it should look like this. So there you go. So we got 1 star here, turn it around, 1 star over here, and now you see that there's a gap for us to make another star. So what are we going to do? We're going to add 2 units, 1 and 2, to form another star right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to close off the gaps by inserting 1 flap into the slot of another to finish off the star over here. And then we're going to have a loose flap dangling. So we're going to insert that into the closest slot to seal it off. Oops. Great. So now we just form this star, and we're going to rotate to see if there's room to form other stars. So as you can see here, there's a potential spot to form another star. So we got 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, and 4 points, and then an open gap over here to insert 2 units. One and 2. So now you see the 5-pointed star over here. We're going to close off the gap. Like this. And then take this loose flap over here and insert it into the nearest slot to close it off. Just like that. So now here's the new star that we just formed. And then we're going to rotate the Kusudama again and see that there's an opening for 2 more units over here, just as before. So 1 and 2, like this, and then the star is over here. So we're going to take this flap and close off the star like this. And then there should be a flap dangling over here. So we're going to close that off as well. Okay. And then there should be another flap dangling. So let's close that one off too. So now what you're starting to see is that this star is surrounded again by 3 points. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and then we know we have to add an additional unit to this point to make it 3. And then we're just going to continue in the same manner until we used up all 30 units. And then finally, for this last unit, I'm going to complete this star over here by adding the unit like this. And then I'm going to take any loose flaps and insert it into an adjacent slot. And finally, this last flap will go into this slot over here to complete the Starsea Kusudama. So don't worry about the units falling apart right now. We can fix that retroactively. So now that that's done, you can see that this over here got a little distorted. So I'm going to take a tip of a pencil and just pry that out and pop it back the way that it should be. And then you're just going to go around and give it a little squeeze. And you're done. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and also check out my other free tutorials as well. Happy folding!